So if we take a look at our misconceptions and our misunderstandings, right? You know, those of you who have been around for a while, what are some of our misperceptions? And there's a lot of them that we've spoken about in here. Misperceptions of how we're perceiving life.
That your thoughts have to mean something.
Yeah.
That they have to have importance.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I found myself doing that today, actually, because finally I don't feel like an elephant sitting on me. And so...
Congratulations.
So, yeah. No, but this is what was really fun. So my mind started creating like these alternative realities of, I mean, I won the lotto. I mean, it was great. I opened up my own center. You know, I was going to take the world by its ocean, so to speak. And even then I was judging myself. I'm like, why am I thinking such strange thoughts? What's wrong with me that I'm thinking such strange thoughts?
Yeah.
And then I was like, it's because you're in a good mood. What's wrong with you that you're in a good mood? And that would lead you to think strange thoughts. And I was just like, just whatever. Like, just your grocery shopping. Just shop. Just think about how to feed your body. What do you need next? You know, just let them go. Let them go. Like,
just be present.
I mean, and they weren't bad thoughts, but they were like delusions of grandeur. I mean, I was there. Like, I won the lotto. And I was like, buy the store. And I, you know. Anyway, but just to hold importance to our thoughts, or even to what you're saying, sometimes our emotions, because sometimes you ate a bad meal, you didn't get enough sleep, like it's hot out, and like you're just, but it doesn't mean that means you need to go to therapy and work on some deep-rooted problem. Right. You know.
So one of our most major misperceptions is that we have to always be thinking, and that the thoughts in our minds are important. You know? So can everybody here see that? I mean, if you can't speak up, you know what I mean? Like, your questions really fuel satsang, okay? So don't be shy. Because I know there's always, you know, some of you that have questions that don't ask them, because you always come up to me after satsang and ask your questions.
I think sometimes it depends on personality types, because I notice if somebody's, you know, even like whatever, I guess we had cockroach in our building today or whatever, and I was like, okay, that means, like, I feel like anytime somebody's upset with something and they're telling me, it means they want me to do something about it. Or maybe it's a control freak, like I want to fix it to make them better, but then a lot of times the stuff, I mean, it's beyond your control. You can't do anything about it. But I think sometimes, to just to not, you know, necessarily judge other people, just to like, they might be coming from a sense of fear that might not necessarily be how they would normally react. Like, so I guess just as much as we change, understanding other people are changed and subject to fear and emotions and weird, wacky moods. And I've noticed through being through the Peaceful Mind Center, I have a lot more compassion with people by identifying how much I change and how inconsistent I am with this idea of myself when I am in pain, you know, that I can be more forgiving with people or just let it go and be like, all right, they're having a bad day. That has nothing to do with me. I'm not going to let their mood affect me. I'm not going to try to fix it. Just let them vent. Let them, you know.
Let them be where they are without judgment. So we can also see then the way that we perceive other people's behavior, we don't see clearly a lot of the time. Or perhaps through our practice, we're now starting to see more and more clearly other people's behavior. So we're seeing clearly, right, the thoughts in our minds are not mandatory and not even important necessarily. What about time? What about how we perceive time? Is there such a thing as time? I have a no. I have one no, and then a bunch of people. Is your sacrificial lamb? Mm.
What I find funny is that I know I do this, and I'm sure that most people do. It's just we're always assuming, and that's the one thing you're never supposed to do. You know, why that person didn't call you. And I think about the story you shared with us with your sister. And she wasn't calling you back, and you worked up this whole fantasy in your head over the course of a week that she was angry with you. So, and I know he won't mind my sharing this with the group, but we have Sean and I have this thing where he's texting me throughout the day, and he calls me at the end of the day when he's leaving work, and texting, you know, throughout the night. I didn't hear a word from him.
Right.
And I thought to myself, you know what, I'm just going to let him be. Maybe he needs some space, you know. And so there was that little part of me in the pit of my stomach that was feeling a little bad, like, why hasn't he texted? Is everything okay? You know, is he mad at me? And at the very end of the night, I couldn't help it. At 10 o'clock at night, I'm like, I text him and I say, is there a reason that you've been out of touch, you know, all day? And I haven't heard from you? So he texts back that he thought I needed a break from him, that I might need some space. And he wanted to give me space because he thought that maybe he had been getting on my nerves, and he wanted to give me space. And he thought that if I wanted to talk to him, I would reach out.
Right.
And I said, this is like the gift of the Magi. I was texting him, as my friends know, I text long stories, where here it is, I'm thinking, I'm not going to text because he wants space from me. He's not texting because he wants space, you know, and we're assuming. He's assuming I didn't reach out to him because of, you know, that maybe I didn't want to talk to him, and he's been bugging me. And so I just feel like our perception and our assumptions of why people do the things that they do around us affect us so deeply, and you can never assume.
And so did I cut you off? Go ahead.
No, not at all. I felt like I was starting to ramble there.
We create stories in our heads, and we live like those stories are real.
They don't even exist. It's all in our heads.
But but if you believe it in your head, it's real for you. That's why when you don't assume, the opposite of assuming is simply asking a question. So I like the way that you responded to him and say, is there a reason that you're out of touch? You didn't get mad. Why didn't you know what I mean? Like some people would have really went for the jugular, you know, in that moment, because they would feel...
Dare you not text me and call.
They would feel rejected, and that would create a lot of pain in them. And then when we're in pain, we really lash out.